So good. It was like someone poured acid on them. Seriously. I stretch every night and I do yoga. It was just the smell and the combination of all the smells. If you don't want to hear about my boobs. It feels so quiet in my backyard right now. I feel very awkward. I feel like my neighbors are listening. Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you don't already know me, my name is Emily. I am currently 14 weeks pregnant, and today's video is really just gonna be a recap of my first trimester. These were the types of videos that I loved to watch, especially in the first 4 or 5 weeks. I was just so curious what other women's experiences were like, so I'm hoping that maybe mine could also be helpful to some other women as well. And let's just get into it. You'll have to excuse me, I have all of my notes on my phone, so I'm not being rude. I'm looking at my phone for my pointers because part of pregnancy is being very forgetful, and I feel like I could literally sit out here for an hour and a half and be like, I don't remember. But I kept notes throughout everything so far, so things that pop into my head, experiences I've had, dreams I've had, I log a lot of that just because I really seriously am so forgetful these days, so I want to remember all of it. Alright, so first we're gonna talk about symptoms, and boy did I have some. First and foremost, morning sickness. So I didn't actually get morning sickness, mine was just extreme nausea. I really hope you can't hear my stomach growling. I literally ate 45 minutes ago. But yes, nausea. So it was very hot and cold. There would be some days where I literally was bedridden or couch ridden, I couldn't convince myself to get up and do anything. There was no fighting it. And I tried everything, you guys. I ate as soon as I would wake up. I literally kept saltine crackers by my bedside. Drinking water, I tried drinking it slowly. I tried super hydrating. I tried ginger chews, lemon ginger tea, peppermint tea, cold wash rags, a warm bath, sleeping. Nothing helped. It just was with time, honestly, and keeping food in my stomach constantly. I noticed that when I would go long periods of time, and by long I mean 2 hours, God, it would come out of nowhere. It would come hard. I remember I was driving home one day and I knew I was hungry, and I knew I should just stop and eat something right now, but I really didn't want to eat fast food because I was just trying to make good decisions, okay? So it was a 40-minute drive home, and I was I'll be fine. Once I get home, I'll eat immediately. 10 minutes later on my drive, I was kind of nervous to keep driving, honestly. My head was just spinning. I just felt that pressure just sitting right on my chest, and I was shaking. As soon as I got home, I was just ravenously shoving stuff down my throat to desperately try to feel better. And it's once I got to that point, it took a long time. No matter how much I eat, didn't matter. It took a while to get out of that feeling. So if I have any tips, keep snacks in your car, eat very frequently, drink a lot of water throughout the day, don't chug. I noticed that when I would chug water, it would really upset my stomach. So yeah, the nausea was a killer. By far the most irritating symptom. Second to that, being the most irritating, was the exhaustion. I feel you hear about the exhaustion, but they don't tell you just how exhausted you are. I mean, there were so many days where I literally could have just laid in bed all day, and there were a couple days where I did that. Now, I should also mention in this video that I am fortunate enough and lucky enough that I have the ability to stay home through my pregnancy, and I'm not working a regular 9-to-5 job like I was previously. I am very grateful that I'm able to stay home throughout this pregnancy, because listen, I know you got to do what you got to do, and if I needed to work, I could get through it and I would be okay. But also saying that, the days where I really felt like the exhaustion and the nausea were just too much to handle, I could not imagine doing that at my job. Like, seriously, I have so much respect for moms and women who don't have that option or do have that option and choose to stay at work. But any mom or pregnant woman that works, like, especially a stressful job, which I feel like every job is kind of stressful at some point at least, like, the utmost respect for you. I pretty much didn't work out for like the first 8 weeks because of the nausea and exhaustion, and honestly I was really hard on myself about that, and I wish I hadn't been. Like, your body is going through so much, and that little being is just growing so fast. Like, it feels like it's nothing because you're like, oh my god, it's the size of a poppy seed, like why do I feel like I'm dying? But the growth that happens in the first 8 weeks is like crazy, and I wish I would have like been a little easier on myself. But literally walking on the treadmill for like 20 minutes, I was like, you're amazing. Enjoy that time that you get to be lazy. Like, it's just the perfect excuse. All right, third symptom, I'm gonna be talking about my chest. So if you're a man or a family member, like, maybe just skip to this time if you don't want to hear about my boobs. My chest, it was so uncomfortable and painful. Like, honestly, my boobs weren't painful, but my nipples, oh my god, it was like someone poured acid on them. Seriously. We have like a towel rack that my husband and I hang our towels on, and I would be nude after my shower going to hang up my towel, and it would like catch my nipples and almost have me in tears. Seriously, it was so painful, and it was almost like I wanted some kind of like sports bra on at all times, because at least they were like secure and not just hanging out there to be caught on stuff, because I swear they got caught on everything. Like, does that sound crazy? I don't know, but it was seriously so annoying. And yes, they did get bigger. I'm still struggling with this next symptom, and that is being out of breath. Literally all the time. Recording videos, I would listen back to the audio and just be like, oh my god, breathe, sister, breathe. All right, the next symptom is bloat. Yeah. So, and I've heard this because, you know, I love YouTube. I watch a lot of YouTube videos. Every week I look up my 13-week pregnancy videos, 14-week pregnancy videos. I love YouTube so much. But one of those things those videos would commonly say is like, you're in a weird spot in your first trimester because you feel so pregnant, but you don't look pregnant. And it's really frustrating because, especially with the bloat, like, your clothes don't feel good. They don't feel like they normally do. You feel like you're busting out of them. And for me, like, I looked like I gained 15 pounds. I didn't, but it felt like it, and I looked like it because the bloat was so constant. Just seeing myself in my clothes, you know, should I expose myself right now? I'm not wearing like jeans or cute pants. I'm literally wearing like my Athleta like flowy shorts, as you just feel chubby. Yeah, like, I don't wear real pants. I can't. Like, my jeans don't fit anymore. They don't feel good. I live in my athletic wear, which I mean I kind of did before anyway, but seriously now, like, I don't wear real clothes. But it's also hard too, because I know I'm gonna grow so much, and it's like my body hasn't even changed that much on the outside so far, so I don't want to spend a bunch of money for clothes that's only gonna fit for the next month, you know? It's so hard. And I know they say, oh, just buy clothes that grow with you, and it's like, how do you do that? How do you do that? Someone tell me. Like, I need recommendations, please help me. All right, next symptom is like overall increased soreness. It kind of, for me at least, felt like after you get like a good light workout in, you kind of feel it in your muscles and you're a little tight and sore. That's what it felt like, but like kind of all the time. I will say I'm also a terrible sleeper. Like I sleep in the most awkward positions with like my wrist bent and my shoulder up. So I do feel like that contributes a lot to my soreness. And listen, I wish I could sit here and say I stretch every night and I do yoga and I just like every night just have to stretch. I don't. I like literally don't stretch. I'm sorry. If there's time to stretch, that means there's time to lay down. So maybe I should just stretch and that problem would go away. And the last symptom I will talk about is over-emotional. Let me let this plane go by. But I'm already over-emotional. I am an overthinker. I'm a Cancer. But I already am like a very emotional person. It is just times 100, especially the past couple weeks. But I would say starting at like weeks 10, 11, 12 is when I really noticed myself like, you know, scrolling through TikTok bawling. But when it really clicked for me, oh my god, it's so embarrassing. I don't watch like The Masked Singer or The Voice or whatever other singing shows there are, but like I like Ariana Grande, okay? I like her music. I think she's funny. I like her. I'm not like a super fan, but I really like her. So I was curious, like, ooh, she's on The Voice. Let me just watch the first episode, see what's up, see if it's good. So I sit down alone one afternoon to watch the first episode of The Voice with Ariana Grande. Oh my god. I'm literally gonna cry. And when they introduced her and they did like her whole backstory, tears streaming down my face. I was like, she's so influential. Like, wow, what a life. Like, she really did that. Like, oh my god. I'm so proud of her. Like, I don't know. Hormones. So super embarrassing, but true story. All right. I didn't want to include this as like a symptom, but maybe it should be a symptom, but the wildest dreams, like nonstop, back to back, vivid dreams, weird dreams. Now, I've saved a couple of my dreams in my notes. I feel like that's a whole video in itself. If you guys are curious about my pregnancy dreams, I feel like most people are really like, I love talking about dreams, and some people are like, but it's not real. Why are you talking about it? So if you want to hear about my pregnancy dreams, let me know. I would be glad to sit down and ramble about the bizarre randomness that comes out of my brain when I'm sleeping when I'm pregnant. But I did have a dream about chicken wings one night and woke up with the wildest craving for buffalo wings. And I did satisfy that craving too, and it was glorious. All right, next I want to talk about food, the good and the bad. So my cravings and my aversions, and there were quite a bit of both. So I'll start with my aversions. This is hard for me because I love food. Like, there really aren't many foods that I won't eat. Most of them being peas. Not a pea girl, okay? Don't be putting peas in my rice, in my soup. Black-eyed peas, ugh, it's a southern tradition. It's nasty. Nasty. Okay, I want no part of it. Still don't want any part of it while I'm pregnant. The main aversion was eggs. I can't do it. But I mean, it would literally like make me gag. Like the thought of it. Not even seeing it or cooking it, but like the thought of it. In any form. No eggs. A lot of cooked vegetables. I wanted like raw veggies. Another thing was like cooking butter. So I love me a steak, and I do it in the cast iron Gordon Ramsay style where you baste it with butter and get it nice and hot. And yeah, no, Honestly, steak also was another thing that I really just had to steer clear from for like a few weeks there, which was so heartbreaking for me because that's such a good like source of protein and something that I enjoyed so much, and just couldn't do it. And specifically the smell of that cooking butter, nauseating. Sadly, coffee. Or is it not sadly? I'm actually kind of grateful that coffee was such a turnoff because I am a coffee addict, or at least I was. I haven't had coffee in a hot minute. Or if I do, I drink like 2 sips of it and I'm like, okay, that's good. Thank you so much. The smell of coffee, even, like, that is like my favorite scent. When you roll through the Starbucks drive-thru and you just smell it through the window, it's like the most glorious smell ever. No, I want no part of it. But I could definitely say that the days that I don't drink caffeine, I feel worse than the days that I do have a little caffeine, just like before I was pregnant. So I think a little caffeine for me is just a necessity. All right, the next 2 are not like food items, but they're smells. So the first thing that ever made me nauseous was opening the refrigerator and just the smells of all the foods combined. It wasn't like there was anything nasty in our fridge or that had gone bad in our fridge. Nothing like that. Nothing spilled. Nothing was like, ugh. It was just the smell and the combination of all the smells that knocked me on my booty. Like, for real. And then the smell of the trash, which I feel like is like duh, but your nose when you're pregnant is like a bloodhound. Like I would smell the trash when I woke up in the morning. Like, no. So we take that out every single night. I don't care if it's this full, like if there is food in there, like it gotta go. It gotta go. All right, now cravings. This is what I love to talk about. I love food. I love food so much. I wish I didn't. I wish I was one of those people that was like, I eat for fuel, not pleasure. No, girl, I eat for pleasure. I love food. I love to cook. I love to eat. I love to feed other people. Like, I just love food. And being pregnant just like amplified that. And quick disclaimer, when I'm talking about like cravings and stuff, this doesn't mean that this was stuff I craved the whole first trimester. There might have just been like a day or 2 where it's all I ate, or I ate like an entire box or bag or jar of whatever it was. It was very like hot and cold, would come and go. It would sound really good one day but not super good the next day. Like, it's just kind of weird. It's like these really short, intense cravings that I just like needed to fulfill. First one, corn dogs. And listen, I know hot dogs, not really the best thing you should be eating when you're pregnant, but did you get your itch? If you see my dogs, they look wild. I promise this Friday they have a grooming appointment. Like, I swear, their hair grows so fast. But yes, corn dogs just sounded, even now, like, I have a box of frozen corn dogs that I keep in my freezer just in case, and I cook the crap out of them. Like, I do it as best as I can, but I really don't think hot dogs are like, your doctor's not going to be like, yes, eat a lot of hot dogs. I've literally had like maybe 3 throughout my entire first trimester when it's like, I just can't, like, I can't take it anymore. I need a corn dog with a lot of mustard. Next is like cheeseburgers, hamburgers, patty melts. Like, honestly, anything with like a ground beef patty just like sounded so good to me. I definitely went through like a burger phase, patty melt phase, especially with like extra onions. Oh, my mouth is watering. I'm gonna have to go eat after this. Oh my god, I'm dying. All right, some of the healthier stuff. Yogurt. I'm not normally like a huge yogurt person, but there's the Chobani. It's like the flip ones where you like, it comes all together and there's like the little flippy thing and it pours all the toppings in it. Specifically the almond cocoa loco. It literally tastes like a yogurt almond joy. Like, it's so good. And there's like 10 grams of protein, I think, in each little pack. So it is like a nice little proteinish snack that tastes like literal dessert. They're so good. But also parfaits, like a Greek yogurt parfait, not vanilla, but just like a plain yogurt. And I would do honey on top, granola, fruit, and hemp seeds. If you guys don't put hemp seeds on your parfaits, you are doing it wrong. And the hemp seeds are so good for you, like so rich in omegas, like really a great topping to put, especially when you're pregnant. All right, I know this is cliche, but pickles, specifically the Clausen pickles. And there's ones at Costco that I actually found at Fry's now too. I don't remember what they're called. I'll put a picture here if I can find one or if I remember, but these pickles, fantastic. Oh, so good. Edamame. Oh, another thing that's rich in protein, but if you eat enough of it, can be really high in soy, which I don't like to I don't want to eat like a ton of soy in one sitting. Sorry, my phone's going off. So I would portion it out a little bit, but it's still really like high in protein. But edamame with some sea salt or soy sauce. Oh, there were like 2 or 3 days in a row where I just wanted sushi so bad. So I would just get like a roll of a cooked sushi, so obviously no raw fish, but in some kind of like cooked tempura roll with an excessive amount of wasabi and soy sauce. Like, oh honey, yes, all day. And fruit. I went through like a cutie phase where I was literally eating like 4 cuties in one sitting. Like, loved cuties, grapes, pineapple, just like that real zingy fruit. Like, yes. Okay. One of my current cravings and obsessions right now, my sister-in-law makes this like Tuscan kale soup. You can get a version of it at like Olive Garden, but it is not 1/100th as good as the soup. It's literally like hot sausage, like hot, am I saying that? Is that what it is? Yeah. It's literally hot sausage, like cooked up with kale and gold potatoes in like this creamy broth. Oh, with like big chunks of onion, and I add like extra crushed red chilies. My mouth is watering. I literally have some in my fridge right now, and that's what I'm gonna go eat after this because it's so freaking good, you guys. But it's just like, oh, it's so like salty and satiating. Like, oh god. I'm on my second crock pot of it, and it's just, so good. And last thing, this was only like a day or two, and I'll probably never eat it again because I went so hard. Puppy chow. If you guys have not had puppy chow, or if you don't know what I'm talking about, or if you call it Muddy Buddies, whatever, if you like sweet stuff, if you like peanut butter, chocolate, like, you need to make some puppy chow. I ate like an unspeakable amount, and I snacked on that for like 3 days, and I think I'm good on the puppy chow. That's pretty much most of the cravings I've had. Like I said, they kind of come and go. Like, one day I'll be like, ooh, chips and salsa, or like, ooh, fried pickles, or ooh, a mozzarella stick. It's just like real random, like pop in my head, I need this right now or I'll die. It's not so much things that I just eat like on end. Is that what I'm trying to say? It's not things that I just eat like day after day after day after day that I just can't get enough of day after day, except for the soup, day after day. Like, it's really just like these random little spurts, and then they just kind of like come and go. And also, last thing about food is I still find this to be true for myself. If it is not something that like really sounds good or that I'm really craving, especially around dinner time, I just can't eat it. Like, it kills my appetite. Like, if I'm thinking about pizza and wings and we have a chicken breast with rice, I can't eat it and I'm not hungry anymore. Like, it's so bad. I don't know. Anyone else have that? Let me know so I don't feel so guilty. All right, on to the next category, which I have labeled as weird. So if that tells you anything, that's what you need to know. All right, one thing I noticed, which was so bizarre to me, it was like probably around 5 or 6 weeks, was I went to use the mouthwash that we always use. It's just like the blue Listerine, and it tasted like straight up battery acid. It was so bizarre, and I just like could not get that taste out of my mouth. It was so weird. And another thing is I can't use conditioner in my hair right now. If I use conditioner in my hair, the second I get out of my shower and get it dry and styled, the whole bottom layer is just greasy. Like, it's so freaking weird. And my hair my hair takes a long time to get greasy. I will go a week without washing my hair if I'm not working out super hard and still won't have greasy hair. Like, my hair stays fairly dry most of the time. So that's a super weird like symptom, I guess, like side effect. I don't even know what to call it. And I debated about talking about my first ultrasound, but since I made a whole video about that, I'll leave it linked down below if you have not seen it yet or if you want to revisit it. But if you're curious about like the first trimester, the first ultrasound, I have a whole video on that, so go click on that and enjoy that after this video. And then while we're talking about first trimester, I figured I would throw in there that I did decide to go with a midwife versus like an OB. I have my own personal reasons for that. If you're curious about that, I can make a separate video about why I chose a midwife versus an OB, but I can already tell this video is going to be super long, so I will leave that for another video if you guys are interested in that. And in that video, maybe I'll touch on the fact that I would really like to try to have my first baby, all my babies with no epidural. So if you think I'm nuts or you have questions for me, then I can talk about that in my midwife video as well. But alright guys, that really wraps up like my first trimester symptoms, cravings, aversions, weird things that I've noticed happen, like crazy dreams. I don't want to make this video too long, but all I can say is I am so grateful to be pregnant. I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry, but I'm so grateful to be pregnant. I've thought about being a mom and being pregnant for a long time, and I'm just so grateful to have such an amazing husband, such an amazing family support system, my animals. Like, I just feel like everything happens for a reason. This was the perfect time for me. I really do believe that. So if you are a first-time mom or if you are pregnant right now, good luck to you. I'd love to know your symptoms, cravings, aversions. Leave me a comment. Let me know how you're feeling. What week are you? I want to know it all. But yes, that's going to be all for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you have not subscribed already. Give this video a like, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.